It is Thursday, the 16th of April, 2026. Thank you for joining us. You're watching the main news on ZBC live from Pocket Hill in Harare. I am Monalisa Dube. Our top stories this evening. President Mnangagwa describes creative industry and tourism as key economic drivers. 18 killed in commuter omnibus explosion on the Bulawayo-Bait Bridge Road. And later in sport, David Am wins the President's Cup National Golf Tournament in Bulawayo. President Emmerson Mnangagwa says his government is deliberately prioritizing the growth of the creative industry as well as the tourism industry as key drivers of socio-economic progress. The head of state was speaking when he hosted the Light Machine Gun Choir and the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers at State House in Harare this Thursday.
The LMG Choir was formed in 1978 and their songs were all about the liberation struggle. Back then, it inspired those who were in the battlefront, and even 46 years later after independence, their songs continue to remind the nation of what transpired and the sacrifices that were made for an independent Zimbabwe. The group was presented with a 15-seater omnibus as well as tokens of appreciation for each individual group member. On the other hand, the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers have put the country on the international scene, winning quite a number of competitions as they represent the country on various stages. They also received a 30-seater bus from the president as well as tokens of appreciation for all the group members. President Mnangagwa commended these two groups and said his government will continue to support the arts sector.
Culture is indeed not merely an expression of identity, but a lucrative industry. My government thus recognizes creative and cultural industries as a vital pillar within our economic transformation agenda.
President Mnangagwa said the LMG Choir is a powerful symbol of the country's liberation struggle. Their songs include Gubuhlungu Emoyeni and Sijabule Namhlanje.
The revolutionary LMG Choir stands as a powerful symbol of Zimbabwe's liberation history, deeply rooted in the lived experiences of our armed struggle for independence. Liberation war cadres and communities alike used the songs as a vital tool of communication, fostering unity, mobilization, and ideological grounding. The LMG Choir derives its name from a prominent weapon of the liberation armed struggle, the legendary light machine gun LMG. While the musical lyrics were embedded with coded messages to inform and educate communities towards advancing the wartime efforts, I recall with fond memories how the sounds of LMG Choir, along with others within our liberation movements, had a tempo of combat which strengthened our resolve as fighters. The songs also helped mobilize communities, inspiring courage and hope for the collective vision for an independent and free Zimbabwe.
As he commended the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers for putting the country on the map, President Mnangagwa said his government is prioritizing the creative sector as key drivers of socio-economic development.
Through your performance at the prestigious Tiro Mapane choral competitions held in South Africa, you proclaimed our national identity, resilience, and enduring spirit of unity and harmony to the world. Your victory resonates, therefore, far beyond melody and rhythm by speaking to the aspirations of our nation as articulated in Vision 2030. Under the NDS2, we are deliberately prioritizing the growth of the creative industries and tourism as key drivers of socio-economic progress. The choral arts create opportunities across a wide value chain ranging from composers and costume designers to sound engineers, producers, and event organizers, among others. This is a thriving ecosystem that should be collectively preserved by both the private and public sectors of our country. We want all young Zimbabweans to know that their unique talents can secure dignified livelihoods. To the members of the two choral groups, we are celebrating your passion for excellence today. You embody the spirit of Ubuntu. Your voices uplift our nation and are a constant reminder that people who sing together, stand together in unity, peace and love, make our country peaceful.
This Thursday was about celebrating the passion for excellence in the creative sector. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, State House, Harare.
Meanwhile, the Light Machine Gun Choir and Chitungwiza Harmony Singers have expressed gratitude to the head of state, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, for recognizing their contribution to choral music in the country.
They have been on different stages, performing for the masses and putting their best foot forward in creating choral music. The country's liberation struggle is the backdrop of the LMG's compositions since 1978, when the group was founded by Give Nare. On the other hand, the Chitungwiza Harmony Singers appeared on the musical scene in the early 1990s, and from then on, they have represented the country on the international stage with distinction. Their efforts have not gone unnoticed.
The achievements of these two choirs demonstrate the immense potential of arts to generate employment, Your Excellency, promote cultural tourism, Your Excellency, and enhance Zimbabwe's global image. As we march towards the attainment of an upper middle income society, it is through such excellency, innovation, and cultural expression that we unlock new opportunities for our people and position Zimbabwe as a competitive force within the global creative economy.
After receiving a 15-seater minibus and tokens of appreciation for each choir member, the LMG, represented by Blessing Dube, expressed gratitude to the head of state with a promise their music will continue to unite the country.
We are grateful that our journey and efforts have been remembered. We thank you for remembering the legend, Give Nare, whose vision is still alive and functional through us, the young generation. This is a testament to the fact that the music echoes in our souls. We hope that these songs will continue to strengthen and weave the threads of patriotism and love for our country for generations to come.
Chitungwiza Harmony Singers choir master Arnold Zangare believes getting an audience with the president confirms the crucial role of choral music in the country.
Being received here at State House is not only a great honor, but also a powerful affirmation of the role that choral music arts continue to play in showcasing Zimbabwe identity, talent, and excellency.
It was a day of celebration for the choral music groups as they walked away with gratitude after being hosted and honored by the president. Josephine Mugio, CBC News, State House, Harare.
Zimbabwe is stepping up efforts to grow trade with Italy, focusing on agriculture as well as agro-processing as key pillars of a renewed economic push. This comes after a high-level engagement between Vice President General retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga and Italian Ambassador Giuseppe Giacalona.
Zimbabwe and Italy are now shifting focus from diplomacy to delivery, with both countries targeting tangible trade growth, increased exports and deeper private sector participation. Briefing the media after paying a courtesy call on Vice President General retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga this Thursday, Italy's top envoy to Zimbabwe, Ambassador Giuseppe Giacalona, made it clear that while relations between the two countries are stable, the priority is now scaling up commercial exchange.
I'm very pleased to have had this meeting with Vice President Chiwenga. It was really a productive meeting. We've spoken of the good and strict relations between Italy and Zimbabwe and the collaboration that we have in the field of health and also in university cooperation, the cultural activities that we are planning to do here. And also in the commercial side, we had a very close relation, even though there are margins and space to grow our trade relationship. So I think that Italy and Zimbabwe, and I have told to Vice President Chiwenga, share common values of friendship.
Italy is positioning itself to bring in companies, unlock investment, and create structured market access for Zimbabwean products into Europe. At the center of this strategy is agriculture.
In this specific segment of the economy of Zimbabwe, the agricultural field, there are really potential opportunities for strengthen the cooperation with Italian. We have, for example, a very important dynamic of exports in the sector of blueberry. We have Italian companies here active and operating in the sector of blueberry, exporting blueberries to Italy. We have, for example, a very interesting possibility of cooperation in the herbicide, bio-herbicide. Novamont company, which is very important in Italy, has come many times, is going to register a product to facilitate the crops in the tobacco fields.
For Zimbabwe, the thrust and the message is clear. The next phase of engagement with Italy is business-driven, export-focused and results-oriented, with agriculture leading the charge. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Harare.
Legacy projects which have been rolled out in Matabeleland South Province before the country's 46th independence celebrations are transforming the area, with Nsizha district being the latest to benefit from the construction of the Filabusi Civil Registry Complex.
This is the Filabusi Civil Registry Complex in Nsizha district, Matabeleland South Province. The complex, which is now nearing completion, is part of the Independence Legacy projects as Matabeleland South prepares to host this year's 46th National Independence celebrations set for Mapisa. Vice President Colonel retired Dr. Kembo Muhadi was on an assessment tour of the facility this Thursday, where he highlighted that the project is part of efforts to bring critical services closer to the people.
One of our Independence Legacy projects, it reflects our determination to ensure that the sacrifices of our liberation struggle are translated into real, measurable improvements in the lives of our citizens. This is the hallmark of a government that listens, a government that acts, and a government that delivers. The completion of the Insiza District Registry Office will significantly transform access to essential civil registration services. These services are not luxuries, but instead they are fundamental rights and enablers of economic participation. Birth certificates, national identity documents, death certificates, and livestock brand registrations are critical tools that allow citizens to fully participate in social and economic life of this great nation, Zimbabwe. By bringing these services closer to the people, we are dismantling barriers, empowering communities, and unlocking economic opportunities at the grassroots level.
The Vice President said the Second Republic is closing the development gap between urban and rural areas.
What we see here today is Vision 2030 in action, which places infrastructure development, decentralization, and improved service delivery at the center of economic transformation. This project embodies our guiding principle of leaving no one and no place behind. We are deliberately closing the development gap between rural and urban areas.
The rolling out of independence projects comes at a time when the nation is set to celebrate its 46th independence under the theme Zim at 46, Unity and Development Towards Vision 2030. Aifeli Mudau, ZBC News, Insiza.
Meanwhile, all is set for the Children's Party and independence celebrations that are to be held in Mapisa this weekend. We'll hear the details from Providence Maranelli, who is currently in Mapisa. Good evening, Providence.
Yes, good evening, Marilyn. Thank you. It's a very good evening here in Mapisa. Just a day before the nation gathers here at this very stadium for the national independence celebrations. And it's all systems go. I can safely tell you that it's all systems go. The voices have been sharpened and symbols are now connected, and everyone is now ready for this historic day. But first, let me give you what is going to happen tomorrow. The Children's Party is going to be held at Maheja Primary School, one of those schools that was massively transformed by the coming of the independence celebrations here at Mapisa in Matebeleland South. And secondly, the Independence Flame will be lit at Ratanyana Battle Site Museum, 40 kilometers outside Mapisa, where 11 Zebra Cadres battled a Rhodesian platoon at this site, 40 kilometers outside Mapisa. And here I'm joined by Matobo District Development Coordinator, Mr. Obecha Putsira, to take us through tomorrow's program. Say, good evening, how are you?
Evening, I'm good, how are you?
Can you just take us through tomorrow's program? What is going to happen?
Yeah, in terms of preparations, I can safely say we are around 98% prepared for the event. As you can see, we are just putting a bit of final touches here at the stadium, obviously, where we are going to have the main celebrations on the 18th of April. But for tomorrow, we are going to have the Children's Party at Maheche, which will be the headline for the day. But in the morning, we expect that the Independence Flame is going to be lit by the Honorable Vice President for the Republic of Zimbabwe, Honorable KCD Mohadi at Ratanyana. Then we also expect that Sisinda Cultural Center will also be commissioned, and the 3 houses which has been constructed for the war veterans are also going to be commissioned tomorrow. So it's a full day for us.
There was the District Development Coordinator, Mr. Obecha Putsira, giving us tomorrow's program, but the main event will happen here on Saturday, followed by a match between Highlanders Amahlolanyama as Gama Gebula versus Scotland FC right here at this stadium. And later in the evening, an Independence Gala will be held at Minda High School, with various artists going to perform at this momentous occasion. So wherever you are, this is the place to be this weekend. Expect you in the studio.
Thank you, Providence. That was Providence Maranelli there giving us an update of the celebrations that are taking place in Mapisa this weekend. And it's also important to note that various districts will also host this year's provincial independence celebrations as the Second Republic continues to decentralize events. The development is a shift from the past where provincial capitals would play host to provincial Uhuru celebrations.
While the main Independence Day celebrations have been decentralized to Mapisa, Matebelele and South Province, Harare is hosting provincial commemorations at St. Aidan's Primary School in Chitungwiza. Harare Metropolitan Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Senator Charles Tavengwa, confirmed the state of preparedness.
Gore rino tiri pano zvino tinoti ngavauye tipembere kubudirira kuri kuita nyika ngatiuye tizadzise tiri pamwe chete takanangana nevision 2030 uyai tipembere zvataona zvese zviri kuitika tisimbisane tiri pamwe chete.
We also managed to speak to community members in Chitungwiza who expressed excitement to host such a historic event.
Mukatarisa development yaitika pana maroads agadzirwa mvura tapiwa vagari vechitungwiza tavara kuti chitungwiza tarangarwa kuti basa renyika rirambe richingovakwa.
Isusu tiri kuuya neuhwandu hwedu semamuslims tichipembera pamwe chete nevamwe vese vatinorarama navo. Tinofara kuti muZimbabwe tinorarama zvakasununguka nevezvimwe zvitendero pasina kurovana sezvatinonzwa zvinoitika kune dzimwe nyika.
Ndiri kuti vanhu vese vari munomu ngavauye sapatinanze izere uku, ngavauye tifare tese tichipemberera tichifarira rusununguko rwabuda munyika yedu.
Marked by military parades, school drills, cultural performances, music and soccer, the Independence Day celebrations will be focused on the theme Zim at 46, Unity and Development towards Vision 2030.
This Saturday, all roads are leading to Siakovo Rural Kariba Nyami District, which is hosting this year's Mashonaland West Provincial Independence celebrations. Now, this development is part of the broader efforts by government to decentralize national events. Quite interesting is the fact that these national events bring with them legacy projects. Now we caught up with the Mashonaland West Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Maren Chombo, who said everything is now in place for the hosting of this important event.
Road yagadzirwa, mvura zvibhorani zvakacherwa, munongoziva kuti pese panenge pechiitika mabiko akadai tinenge tine legacy projects atinofana kuziva kuti tasiya kuti vana kana mhuri yemuSiakovo inozotaura kuti gore riya patachipemberera 46 years of independence yeZimbabwe muno yakaitirwa muno muSiakovo pano paSt Michael's chii chakaitwa pano pakavakwa mudhuri pakacherwa zvibhorani zvimwe zvacho zvinokwanisa kutadza kupera izvozvi asi tatozviisa pakalenda kuti zvinofanira kutopedziswa.
Quite interesting is the rehabilitation of the Karoi Binga Highway. Now this road is a critical passage as it links three provinces which are Mashonaland West, Matebeleland North and the Midlands province. So the rehabilitation of this road is not only benefiting the Siakovo community but is also aiding in economic activities.
Tagadzirira. We've been going there almost every week. Tine timu dziri ikoko, masoja edu vakatotanga vakatopractiza, tikatoita marehesa tikaona kuti everything is up to date.
Chinoi residents are saying the decentralization of these national events are in the spirit of the devolution policy which seeks to leave no one and no place behind.
Events achiitwa muma different places, development inoendawo kuma areas ikoko kwacho.
Kuno kumamisha kune economic activities akasiyana anoitwawo saka anoda kuti atsigirwewo ende munoona kuti paya panouya vanhu vachizoungana nzvimbo iri kuungana waya inombogadzirwa nzvimbo inotosara yadini yanaka zvobatsira kuti vagari vemunzvimbo iyoyo vanosara vachibenefitawo.
On the entertainment side, two Premier Soccer League teams from the province are going to compete for the provincial trophy, while in the evening a musical concert will be held to celebrate the sacrifices by the gallant sons and daughters of the soil.
In Masvingo Province, Chirezi District is playing host to this year's 46th independence celebrations, and they are going to be held here at Gibo Stadium. And rehearsals are underway to ensure a smooth flow of the official proceedings come Saturday. The Chirezi community is excited to be hosting this prestigious event, with some taking time for a sneak peek of what they will be seeing on Saturday, and people are grateful for the decentralization drive.
It's happening.
Authorities say all is now in place for the celebrations, with thousands expected to fill up Gibo Stadium.
We are expecting people of over 10,000. We have invited our colleagues from across Gaza province in Mozambique. They have confirmed that they are bringing a high-powered delegation to be celebrating together, showing the strength and the good rapport between the two countries.
It's promising to be pomp and fanfare come Saturday, as Chirezi will be playing host to this year's independence celebrations. And this also brings to life government's decentralization agenda, as they want to ensure that no one and no place is left behind.
The Midlands province has hailed President Emmerson Mnangagwa for his forward-thinking decision to decentralize Independence Day celebrations, enabling not only provinces to host the main event, but districts to host provincial celebrations. This comes as Zvishavane prepares to host the Midlands provincial celebrations.
We are actually happy that the independence is coming to Zvishavane, because we've got a lot to celebrate. We have seen a lot of developments by the new dispensation, and we can see we are moving so many steps towards the attainment of the National Development Strategy 2 and the vision of the President for 2030.
Government is confident the event will bring substantial infrastructural development to the district, promoting inclusive development and growth.
Here in Midlands Province, we are having our Independence Day in Zvishavane as part of decentralization. In Mapisa, it will be presided over by the head of state and government, Commander-in-Chief of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, His Excellency Comrade Emmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa.
This year's National Independence Day celebrations will be held in Matabeleland South in Mapisa under the theme Unity and Development Towards Vision 2030.
The multi-million-dollar vocational training center in honor of the late father Zimbabwe, Dr. Joshua Nkomo, is taking shape at his rural home in Kezi, Matabeleland South Province. Our chief correspondent Ruben Balwe reports that the first intake of students is expected in August this year.
This is the mausoleum of the Nkomos. You can see the father to the late father Zimbabwe, Letshwantsho Nkomo, the mother Mahadebe, the son Tutani, and this is just a symbol that Dr. Joshua Nkomo was born when and he died when. His remains are interred at the National Heroes Acre. Just where Kulu Nkomo used to stay is a new vocational training center which is being built by the Zimbabwean government. And they are working day in, day out, in order to finish building this vocational training center so that the people of Samukwe communal lands can also benefit, immortalizing the name of the late father Zimbabwe. He was the commander-in-chief of the Zimbabwe People's Revolutionary Army, ZIPRA, and many people went to war, and he guided them throughout the war until liberation. Granddaughter here spoke to us about who is maintaining.
Lo is my grandfather, Joshua Nkomo. So He was staying there near St. Joseph's.
All right. The Kulu was staying here.
But Kulu was staying here.
So this is the graveyard of the Nkomos.
Yes.
And who keeps them neat like this?
There is other woman who is taking care of this place.
This is Tutani, is this one?
It's that one.
That one is Tutani, the son.
Yes.
This one is Mama.
Is Mama.
Gogo. What a gift to the people of Somukwe village near St. Joseph's in Kez. By August, the first intake will be recorded. We spoke to the site engineer, Mr. Gift Masuko.
We're expecting to finish this project in 7 to 12 months' time, which means by the end of the year, the project should be finished. The first phase of the program, we're supposed to build the classroom blocks, administration block, the boundary fence, and the roads within the perimeter fence. And as of now, I think we are now around 90% of finishing the first phase of the project.
Mr. Michael David, with the site manager, also gave us a bout-by-bout account on what is actually taking place.
Apparently, Joshua Nkomo Vocational Training Center, Rikopata, Brigade Borneo in 22 hectares. Rikopata my buildings. First phase, HE.
This is capacitating the local youths with the skills to build this economy. As government has already said, we will leave no place and nobody behind as we march towards the Vision 2030. Ruben Barrow, ZPC News, St. Joseph's, near Mapisa.
The business community has described the 7-year continuity of policy being proposed under clauses 4, 9 and 10 of the Constitutional Amendment No. 3 Bill as important in sustaining the country's stability.
Sustained development is the basis of economic growth in Zimbabwe to such an extent that the business community is seeing many opportunities for growth, the completion of ongoing developmental projects as well as certainty in terms of overall planning once the Constitutional Amendment No. 3 Bill is signed into law. This is also happening when the business community is also benefiting from government interventions in terms of prudent fiscal and monetary policies that have led to stable economic conditions aided by the National Development Strategy 2.
For us business people, it's very good because it gives us continuity.
As business, we've benefited a lot from the stable microenvironment and a stable exchange rate, which has enabled us to buy machinery at a stable price. And we just hope this kind of a scenario would continue.
We are this in a situation which we are in also increases employment and opportunities. We are able to plan because we are in a stable environment. We are also able to increase capacity of production.
Parliament led public consultations for the Constitutional Amendment No. 3 Bill. While submissions for the proposed constitutional changes are ongoing, the bill is set to be debated in Parliament soon. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
The University of Zimbabwe has scored a major victory in climate change mitigation after producing over 240 hectares of sorghum seed through its new company, Vocational Seeds, which is being driven by the Education 5.0 curriculum.
For years, Mzarabani-based farmer Centric Chizeya has been in a dilemma over which crops to grow in the face of persistent droughts. Last year, the University of Zimbabwe used it through its newly formed company, Vocational Seeds, gave a lifeline to farmers like Chizeya after introducing a high-yielding sorghum variety.
University of Zimbabwe yakatilimbisa kuti pambewu idzodzi takakwanisa kumanage mbewu dzedu dzakabuda zvakanaka inokwanisa kutitengera $1 per kg. saka imwe mbeu dzatiri kutarisira kuti dzichatiraramisa kuno kuMzarabani.
Another farmer, Nomo Chizeya of Kazurure village, is expecting a harvest of 45 tons after planting 16 hectares of the sorghum seed.
Nemvura yedu shoma yatinoona kuno kuMzarabani iyi imbeu yembeu iri kutifadza pakuti inogona kukamura nzara muno muMzarabani.
University of Zimbabwe Vice Chancellor Professor Paul Mafumo says the rollout of the seed variety to farmers in Region 4 is a direct response to the mandate given to universities by government through the Education 5.0 model.
And as we work with communities here, we have established a startup company of the university that's called Vakanyika Holdings. And under Vakanyika Holdings, there are various branches of the company. This particular company is called Vakanyika Seeds. So what we are doing with the VN Seeds is to gather our breeders to breed a new type of seed for traditional grains. This is sorghum today. You will see pearl millet, you will see also finger millet that are being bred. These are the ones that give the country resilience to climate change.
Government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, Mechanization and Water Resources Development's extension officers, is working closely with the farmers to boost their food security and improve production.
Our agricultural business advisory officers are working hand in glove with the institution, which is University of Zimbabwe, in trying to promote this growing of these small grains to our farmers in order to mitigate the effects of climate change. We are highly encouraging farmers these days to do what we are now calling agro-tailoring. That is growing varieties which suit the climatic conditions of that region.
University of Zimbabwe has contracted 52 farmers across 3 villages in Mzarabani, with the initiative also extending to farmers in Hurungwe, Mashonaland West and parts of Mashonaland East provinces. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Mzarabani.
Meanwhile, Lupane State University is also showcasing the impact of the Education 5.0 model through the avian artificial insemination program, which is now powering the presidential poultry scheme.
Despite their adaptability, indigenous chickens are often characterized by low production and poor reproductive performance, highlighting the need for effective technological interventions. In line with the Education 5.0 model, Lupane State University has introduced avian artificial insemination, a reproductive technique used in poultry industry to enable controlled breeding and improve productivity.
This innovation has upscaled. We are now producing over 2,190 fertilized eggs per month. And these eggs are then distributed to local farmers. Currently or recently we've worked with the Women's League, which we are then distributing our fertilized eggs to the Women's League, who then hatch those eggs, and then those eggs or those chicks are then fed into the presidential poultry scheme.
Working in partnership with the ZANU-PF Women's League, Lupane State University is showcasing the impact of the Education 5.0 community engagement pillar, ensuring that innovation directly benefits grassroots communities.
Iproject leyi ukuthi izimi ikwanisa ukuhamba sithola amaqanda eLSU singathatha amaqanda eLSU sicacadisa amaqanda ethu then sesithengisa amatsiyani lawana $1 each ukuthi omama bakwanisa ukuzincedisa baziphilise through amatsiyani.
The program, which began in 2020, has grown from a small-scale academic initiative into a fully fledged production and empowerment hub, demonstrating how universities can move beyond teaching and research to deliver tangible community solutions. Tichaona Kurewa, ZBC News, Lupane.
Remember, you can stay updated with these and other stories by logging on to our website, www.zbcnews.co.zw, and do follow us at ZBC Online across all social media platforms. And still ahead on the main news this hour. 18 killed in commuter omnibus explosion on the Bulawayo Bait Bridge Road. And in sport, David Am wins the President's Cup National Golf Tournament in Bulawayo. We continue with the main news after this break. Stay with us.
The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe is pleased to advise the public that the upgraded Big 5 ZiG banknotes are now in circulation effective 7 April 2026. The new Big 5 ZiG banknote series has been distributed across the country in sufficient quantities to meet anticipated cash demand. The rollout begins with 10 ZiG, 20 ZiG, and the new 50 ZiG note. The 100 ZiG and 200 ZiG will be introduced gradually. 1 ZiG, 2 ZiG and 5 ZiG coins remain in circulation, and the previous ZiG banknotes will continue to circulate alongside the upgraded Big 5 ZiG notes. They will gradually be phased out. The upgraded ZiG banknotes are available through banks, ATMs, and HomeLink kiosks nationwide. Let's embrace and use the upgraded Big 5 ZiG banknotes with pride and confidence. ZiG. Stable, secure, sustainable.
This is Isaac, a farmer who is mastering his hustle for global success. Behind Isaac's hustle is the company Cicada that got financing from the European Investment Bank and access to markets through the European Union Zimbabwe Trade Agreement. He passes what he has learnt on to others. His journey shows how far dedication can go. Bigger harvests, more income, and new markets for him. One seed, one dream, a world of possibilities.
Texting while driving. What a dangerous thing to do on the wheel. Be smart. Put the phone down. Don't text and drive. This message is brought to you by the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe. Safety first. There is no second chance.
The Zimbabwe International Trade Fair 2026 is here. It's Zimbabwe's premium platform for trade, innovation, and building global connections. For more than half a century, the ZITF show has been at the heart of innovation and integration of ideas behind Zimbabwe's industrialization and economic growth. At ZITF 2026, we take this a step further, positioning local, regional, and international businesses for global integration, driving Zimbabwe and Africa's transformation. Be a part of the journey to unlocking local, continental, and global opportunities at ZITF 2026 from the 20th to the 25th of April 2026 in Bulawayo. Register today and unleash your business growth. ZITF 2026, Connected Economies, Competitive Industries.
Thank you for staying with us. You're watching the main news. Now, in rather sad news, about 18 people perished in a road accident between Chipangali and Gwanda tollgate along the Bulawayo-Bait Bridge Road this Thursday afternoon. Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has since declared the accident a national disaster. We get the details from our assistant news editor, Mhlomli Ncube.
A burnt-out, tired road, anxious faces searching for answers, and several of the country's law enforcement agencies searching for clues. This was the story of a tragedy which occurred this Thursday along the Bulawayo-Bait Bridge Road when a vehicle carrying mourners from a funeral was involved in an accident. Desperate relatives still couldn't get full details, even after being allowed by the police to try and identify the remains of their loved ones.
Ngifike lana ku accident ngizodinga umamncane wami uFlatha Moyo nomfowethu Oscar Nkomo ongena ongathi usuke naye ekhaya, so ngizame ukuthi ngidinge lana umuntu engimtholayo engibonileyo nguye uOscar, so umamncane ngehluleka nokuthi mhlambe ngibheke ukuthi engabe khona partner walaba bantu.
Sesingenile sabona kodwa ingozi yakhona ngathi kulobunzima sehlulekile. Ngifuna ukukhuluma manga sehlulekile, mina ke ngedwa ngeke ngisho ukuthi ngiyehluleke ngoba ngiyehluleke ngendlela abantu abangakhona.
An eyewitness, Mr. Andrew Ncube, who was traveling by bus to Zhishavane, was one of the first people to arrive at the scene.
Ngithole mina
abantu abangu-2 ade besaphila umama 1 nomndoda oyi-1 kodwa undoda lo bekhuluma esithi yena becela amanzi kodwa ade saphila khanye qamukele lapha eqolo la kodwa ngesikhathi sisanda kukhuluma laye khonapho simbuza ukuthi simkhulumisa simbone seqhatsha wathi wathula i-ambulance yasejafika khona kodwa ade sethule.
Local Government and Public Works Minister Honorable Daniel Garwe, who visited the scene, expressed sadness on behalf of government and confirmed that the accident has been declared a state of disaster.
Government is already in, as you can see, I'm here from the Minister of Local Government and Public Works on the directive from His Excellency the President. And the Department of Civil Protection are also here, now working closely with the CETARAPI and other security sector agencies are busy investigating. So the cause of the accident is not yet known now, but we are so saddened as Zimbabweans, we are saddened as government. Condolences from His Excellency on the families of who have lost their relatives who were going home. We understand that they were coming from a funeral in Nkai. The facts are not yet established, but these are the stories that we are hearing here. It's a sad development indeed.
According to a police statement, investigations are still underway to determine the circumstances which led to the explosion of the vehicle. Mhlomuli Ncube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The government has officially rolled out the Health National Adaptation Plan, which aims to integrate health consideration into the broader national plan. The initiatives unveiled in Harare this Thursday has been lauded as a strong commitment by the government to combat emerging health issues due to climate change.
Climate change is amplifying health risks for many African countries while also exerting excessive pressure on their health systems. Zimbabwe is not spared from the unfolding climate change crisis. According to the World Health Organization (WHO) Africa region, Southern Africa has been particularly badly affected with a 7-fold increase in cholera cases in the first 6 weeks of this year in comparison to the same time last year. This has been largely driven by cases in Mozambique and Angola.
Climate change is no longer a distant theoretical concern for Zimbabwe. It is a vivid reality with direct and escalating health consequences. In recent years, recurring El Nino-related droughts have undermined food and nutrition security, increasing the levels of malnutrition, and particularly among children under the age of 5 years and pregnant women.
This reality has triggered response measures as governments race against time to mitigate the impact of changing climate patterns. A vulnerability and assessment stakeholder meeting convened in Harare this Thursday signaled the start to planning a strategic blueprint essential for aligning health policies with the nation's overall climate resilience strategy.
So why is it now important for Zimbabwe to develop such an important blueprint? The Minister of Health and Childcare, Dr. Douglas Mombeshora, explained in his presentation.
As government, we are fully seized with this matter. Zimbabwe aligns itself with the global agenda on climate and health as articulated through the World Health Assembly and guided by the World Health Organization framework on climate resilient and environmentally sustainable health systems. What we require is a coherent, well-resourced and sustainable pathway towards climate resilient health systems. These should be systems that can withstand shocks, protect populations, and sustain development gains.
Within the last 2 decades, changing weather patterns, including frequent droughts, extreme temperatures, and elevated emissions of carbon and methane gases, have increased exposure of already vulnerable groups.
If you just look at the figures from 2001 to 2021, about 2,000 public health events were recorded from the Africa CDC, and our figures show that nearly 60% are attributed to climate change.
We are going to understand the risk profile of the country, who is affected and where are they sitting, what age groups, and what are the other underlying issues affecting them. Once we understand that, we are going to develop the Health National Adaptation Plan.
By coming up with a national adaptation plan, Zimbabwe becomes only the 9th nation across the world to come up with a policy that speaks directly into adaptation and mitigation against climate-induced health emergencies. Theophilus Chuma, ABC News, Harare.
Meanwhile, healthcare delivery in Mashonaland West is set for a significant transformation after the commissioning of new vehicles as well as solar-powered tricycles, which are aimed at strengthening emergency response and outreach services across the province.
Government is indeed walking the talk as far as provision of health services is concerned. Here at Chinhoyi Provincial Hospital, at least 6 service vehicles were commissioned this Wednesday. These include 3 vehicles which are meant for immunization programs, 1 ambulance for Siakovo District Hospital, 1 emergency response vehicle, as well as this truck which will be used to ferry oxygen tanks.
I-ambulance iyakujasizya ibantu beshu kuzva munzvimbo zisiyeni zvimakliniki eshu onsene arefer abantu asiyakovo hospital akuvanyampula kuzva mumasena kana kuvanyampula kuzva mumasena avo ngavatoregwa kuKaroyi.
The Provincial Medical Director, Dr. Celestino Dege, says the commissioning of the vehicles marks a significant boost to healthcare delivery across the province.
So we really want to appreciate this critical gesture and intervention as we start the year and as we start the NDS2 from 2026 to 2030. It means as a province we may be able to push our targets.
The Minister of State for Mashonaland West Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Maren Chombo, expressed her gratitude to the President, Dr. Emerson Mnangagwa. She says the capacitation of primary health services is a key catalyst towards the attainment of Vision 2030.
Ndisi kuda kuti vanhu vazhinji vanga vachiuya kuGeneral Hospital kuno ngatiite kuona kuti vanhu vabaiwa. So it means we need more of these services, immunization and also mamwe services anenge achingodiwa. So ndoda kutenda chirongwa chataita ichochi.
Meanwhile, complementing this gesture, the province also received 70 solar-powered tricycles. All these efforts are meant to improve health delivery, especially in rural communities. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chinhoyi.
Thousands of prospective students have applied for enrollment into the nursing program at the newly established Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa School of Nursing in Kadoma. The selection process gets underway ahead of the official opening on the 4th of next month.
Over 3,000 applications were received and a committee has already been put in place to select only 20 students who will pioneer this initiative. The tutor in charge, Mrs. Lucy Kashumba, told us that the school is now fully prepared to roll out this new adventure. She says the capacitation of this hospital with state-of-the-art hospital equipment is a major boost for practical exposure for the new cohort.
We are actually ready to start. The classrooms are ready, as you can see. We also have our demonstration room, which is fully fetched with the mannequins, the skeletons, and all the other things that are needed in the skills lab. Then we also have our library, which we have some computers and books. So we are ready to start.
Philanthropist and patron of the Muduvuri Pan-African Hospital, Mr. Jimai Muduvuri, is always on record emphasizing that it is the moral duty of every Zimbabwean to build his or her own country.
President Mnangagwa ndingaenda mukwaneveni vayo. Tinofana kudzidza kuvaka nyika yedu by example. Iye zvota vaka makliniki vana Muduvuri Zimbabwe yose. Zvichidevedza kuti ini am a disabled person, being a disabled person, ndakaona kuti uve nehealth kwayo unofana kuziva kuchipatara. Zvinoda kuva nehealth mukati, madoctors, manurse. Saka ndakaendora South Africa. Today I'm a businessman here. tichita madiro through His Excellency. Now today I'm demonstrating kunyika kuti as Zimbabwean businessmen we can do it.
As you can see behind me on this banner, this school has been named after the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, in her honor. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Kadoma.
Reaffirmed its commitment towards enhancing technological advancement as it shifts from being a passive consumer of technology to a creator and innovator. Addressing guests at a local telecommunications company AI program launch in Harare this Thursday, the Minister of Information, Communication Technology, Postal and Courier Services, Honorable Tatenda Mavetera, highlighted that the government is providing the necessary regulatory and infrastructural frameworks for innovations to thrive.
This event comes at a defining moment for our country. Exactly a month ago, when His Excellency our President, Dr. Idi Mnangagwa, launched Zimbabwe's national AI strategy, 2026 to 2030. Zimbabwe has shifted from being a passive consumer of technology to becoming a creator and innovator. Public-private partnerships are central to the successful implementation of our national strategy. While as government, we have the responsibility to develop enabling policy frameworks and craft broad strategic blueprints that dovetail with our national development strategy. We require the ingenuity, innovation, and investment of the private sector to make it a reality. As government, we continuously commit to create a conducive environment that fuels innovation, growth, and creativity through supportive policies, sound regulatory guardrails, and continued investment in digital infrastructure. So as Zimbabwe, we need to make sure that we are deliberate on planning for our future. Policies do not code software, but people do.
That was Honorable Tatenda Mavetera speaking on the regulatory frameworks that the government has put in place for AI innovations. We now take a quick break and thereafter we'll look at business. Stay with us.
This is Isaac, a farmer who is mastering his hustle for global success. Behind Isaac's hustle is the company Cicada that got financing from the European Investment Bank and access to markets through the European Union Zimbabwe Trade Agreement. He passes what he has learnt on to others. His journey shows how far dedication can go. Bigger harvests, more income, and new markets for him. One seed, one dream, a world of possibilities.
Nosiko misplaced her driver's license again, so she can sit pretty as #passenger princess.
In my pinky, right, baby?
If smart choices mean a great deal to you, box clever with a Rapster in original, dunked, or the new barbecue. Genius.
The 2026 edition of the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair, ZITF, is here. The City of Kings, Bulawayo, will come alive from the 20th to the 25th of April as the annual International Expo takes center stage under the theme, Connected Economies, Competitive Industries.
Don't miss this exceptional opportunity to showcase your brand to Zimbabwe and the rest of the world through ZBC TV, digital, and radio platforms. For exciting advertising packages, contact Robson on 0716 484 712, Clarice on 0712 842 138, or email marketing@zbc.co.zw.
The Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe would like to warn all motorists and passengers against overloading, as this can lead to loss of life and premature death. Overloading can cause instability to the vehicle, thereby making it harder to steer, whether on straight roads, bends, or when it hits a pothole. Say no to overloading. You never know, the life you save might be your own. This message was brought to you by the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe. TSCZ, keeping Zimbabwe's roads safe. This is Isaac, a farmer who is mastering his hustle for global success. Behind Isaac's hustle is the company Cicada that got financing from the European Investment Bank and access to markets through the European Union Zimbabwe Trade Agreement. He passes what he has learnt on to others. His journey shows how far dedication can go. Bigger harvests, more income, and new markets for him. One seed, one dream, a world of possibilities.
Welcome back. We now look at news beyond our borders, where South African opposition politician Julius Malema has been sentenced to 5 years in prison after being found guilty of illegal possession of a gun and firing it in public. Reports say Malema's lawyer said he will appeal against the decision to prevent the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters and Member of Parliament from being incarcerated. Malema was last year convicted of 5 offences, including the unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition, discharging it in a public space, as well as reckless endangerment. The charges relate to an incident in 2018 when a video emerged showing Malema using a semi-automatic rifle to fire several shots in the air during his party's 5th anniversary celebrations that were held in South Africa's Eastern Cape province. Receiving a sentence of more than 1 year disqualifies him from being a member of parliament, but that will not be applied until his opportunities to appeal have been exhausted. We now move on to business news. The 66th edition of the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair is expected to be bigger and better as it managed to court the participation of several countries, including the UAE, despite the unfolding crisis in the Middle East.
Good evening. We are coming to you live from the Zimbabwe International Conference and Exhibition Smart City, where a press conference has been held by the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair Company to give an update of where they are in terms of preparations for this year's edition. A lot has been done to ensure that this year's edition is of high impact value. So to give us an appreciation of where they are in terms of preparations, I'm joined by the ZITF board chairperson, Dr. Busisa Moyo.
We are very pleased with the level of preparedness that we have reached thus far, with just a few days to go before the doors open for Zimbabwe International Trade Fair 2026, our 66th edition. I'm pleased to advise that in terms of exhibitors, we have over 600 direct and indirect exhibitors that have confirmed participation this year's Zimbabwe International Trade Fair exhibition.
Considering that this is an international fair, like with the Middle East crisis, has it affected the participation of countries from that end?
Not directly. We are pleased that in the 29 countries, the United Arab Emirates is taking part this year. They will be present at ZITF exhibiting. And so we have seen a lot of countries still coming out in their numbers.
During the press briefing, you also highlighted that this year's edition is unique in the sense that it is tech-enabled. Can you just give us a brief?
There are several additions to the ZITF experience, in particular with registration. You can pay, you can register and pay online for your tickets. They are available and there are links on all our social media handles and on our website.
Well, that was the chairperson of the Zimbabwe International Trade Fair Company, Dr. Busisa Moyo, giving an update of how far they have gone in terms of ensuring that this edition is bigger and better. It's back to the studio.
Zimbabwe capital markets are showing renewed momentum amid improved investor confidence. The development comes as the country positions itself as a competitive destination for both domestic and foreign capital.
Recent policy measures, including tighter monetary controls and the introduction of the Zimbabwe gold currency in the year 2024, have helped moderate inflation into a single digit in the first quarter of the year 2026. Against this backdrop, capital markets are increasingly being viewed as a key transmission channel for stability and long-term investment in Zimbabwe. The Securities and Exchange Commission of Zimbabwe says strengthening financial reporting standards remains central to sustaining this trajectory, particularly in attracting pension funds and offshore investors who rely on credible disclosures.
Our core dependency is on the profession, the financial accountants, the auditors, the preparers, the captains of industry, boards that essentially report their financial statements become a critical anchor in how local pension funds, institutional investors, and foreign investors participate in the Zimbabwe market.
A Zimbabwe stock market is reflecting this shift, with total market capitalization now estimated at $5.3 billion United States dollars, signaling a gradual return of investor confidence. Economist Mr. Stevenson Dlamini says Zimbabwe's dual market structure is increasingly being recognized as a pragmatic innovation.
This is a master stroke in local resource mobilization because it ensures a balance between local investor growth, foreign direct investment growth, as well as improving resource mobilization within the economy.
Economic analysts also note that the next phase of market development will hinge on microeconomic consolidation, particularly the transition towards a monocurrency regime, which authorities argue could reduce distortions and improve price discovery across financial assets.
So for capital markets, assurances on USD asset protection and transparent foreign exchange arrangements are just as important as the monocurrency itself. So overall, a monocurrency can enhance capital markets growth, but it needs to be done at the right time with the right conditions in place.
The alignment of regulatory reforms, market innovation, and macroeconomic policy is increasingly positioning Zimbabwe's capital markets for steady expansion, potentially enhancing their role in financing economic growth and attracting both domestic and international investment. Eland Moyo, ZBC News, Victoria Falls.
Zimbabwe's ease of doing business reforms have been extended to local authorities as part of efforts to facilitate a favorable operating climate for industry and commerce.
A stakeholder engagement involving the city of Harare and the business community this Wednesday created a platform for the two parties to find each other on matters related to facilitating affordable business operating conditions, riding on a continuous review of fees, permits and licenses by the government in different sectors of the economy. The business community is also expecting local authorities to adhere to such directives by reducing rates in order to attract more investors.
Competitiveness has to do with cost structures, and with the local authorities reviewing the rates, it helps the businesses to become more competitive. And you know, with the Vision 2030 thrust, where the economy must go up the value chain, I think it then becomes very important. With African free continent trade area coming through as well, Zimbabwe needs to position itself to be able to compete in the regional markets, and this is fundamental in ensuring that we are competitive as a regional player.
Local authorities have also pledged a commitment in ensuring that the proposals that have been tabled here by the business community on a favorable operating business climate are also taken into consideration.
We have aligned ourselves to the call by Cabinet through His Excellency President Idi Mnangagwa to reduce our license fee, reduce our rates, and many other service charges where possible and where applicable. And we believe that the Vision 2030 can be achieved should business be able to operate more efficiently, more sustainably through reduced rates. The idea is that should business begin to operate, then more people will be employed, more money will be turning in the economy.
Government is expecting the ease of doing business reforms to position Zimbabwe as a safer and viable business portfolio for global and domestic investors. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
That report from Stanley James wraps up business news for this evening. We now look at arts, where the Bulawayo community is celebrating the newly crowned Miss Tourism Zimbabwe, Zanele Moyo, who has turned out to be an inspiration to young people.
Youths from Bulawayo are excited that one of their own has been crowned Miss Tourism Zimbabwe with a clear vision to market destination Zimbabwe. Zanele Moyo's achievement is an inspiration to many young people in the city.
Siyajabula to have our very own Miss Tourism, as she's going to represent us in China. At least uyasikhuthaza sonke njengabontanga ukuthi sithuthukise ama-talent ethu.
Kuqakathekile ukuthi sibe lo Miss Tourism osasemusha ku eZimbabwe because kuyasisiza ngokuthi abantu abatsha ba-cooperate njalo.
She's giving us more energy which we youth we should work hard.
Today we stand united behind Her Majesty Zanele Moyo as she takes on the important task of marketing brand Zimbabwe as the ultimate tourist destination.
Miss Tourism Zimbabwe is cognizant of the need for collective responsibility in promoting the country's tourism sector.
I carry the story of a nation, but I do not stand here alone. I'm here because of a team that believes in the Zimbabwean brand. Zimbabwe is often defined by its breathtaking landscapes, but our greatest asset is our people. The time has come for us to become active citizens in our tourism business. Tourism is the heartbeat of our economy.
For government and the local leadership, Moyo's triumph should be taken as a lesson to youths that the sky is the limit.
It is with profound pride that I rise on behalf of the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution and the people of Bulawayo Metropolitan Province to congratulate our daughter, Zanele Moyo, Miss Tourism Zimbabwe 2026, for bringing in the crown home. Your victory is not merely a personal triumph, it is a statement to the nation and to the world.
We need to think outside of the box. Where is the low-hanging fruit in our city? And I believe that the low-hanging fruit is actually in tourism.
Stakeholders say empowering young ambassadors like Moyo will play a crucial role in positioning Zimbabwe as a leading tourism destination.
After the break, we'll take a look at sport. Stay with us.
School's out, fun's in, adventure's on, homework done, and holiday mode is activated.
Let's hop to it.
And he scores! This is your time. Holiday mode activated. Get and stay connected to DSTV and choose from a world of amazing kids entertainment.
This is Isaac, a farmer who is mastering his hustle for global success. Behind Isaac's hustle is the company Cicada that got financing from the European Investment Bank and access to markets through the European Union Zimbabwe Trade Agreement. He passes what he has learnt on to others. His journey shows how far dedication can go. Bigger harvests, more income, and new markets for him. One seed, one dream, a world of possibilities.
Welcome back. In sport, David M had a brilliant display, scoring a 13 under par to win the President's Cup National Golf Tournament, which was held in Bulawayo this Thursday.
A rare feat of scoring 13 under par was the major talking point in the President's Cup National Golf Tournament in Bulawayo. Exceptional play was on display as David M completed the 54 holes with a -13 score. Am was on cloud 9 after powering to victory, while respected professional golfer Robson Chinoy was gracious in defeat.
Yeah, I'm very happy. It was a good day. I handled my game nicely, handled my emotions nicely. Yeah, obviously very happy to come out on top.
I played really well. I think the last 2 days was awesome.
Day 3 saw junior golfers rubbing shoulders with professionals, but it was the inclusion of female golfers which spiced up the tournament.
In Harare at Borrowdale Brook, I've actually opened up a golf academy called Pitch Perfect. And so I got a lot of juniors there, boys and girls. And yeah, I mean, hopefully I can get more girls coming in because obviously, you know, there's a lot of girls playing, but we needed just encouragement that, you know, they can also play the sport. It's not just a man's sport. We can play the sport.
Sponsors of the tournament marveled at the talent on display.
We are actually focusing on the junior golfers. The idea is to make sure that this world tournament, it embodies everyone. And we also need to promote talent from even young age.
The President's Cup National Golf Tournament is not only aiding sports tourism but bringing every stakeholder to celebrate the country's independence.
We're blessed that we get the opportunity by Net1 and obviously the President himself, and that we are associated with His Excellency. We've had a fantastic 3 days tournament here at Bulawayo Country Club.
The tournament is expected to be graced by President Emmerson Mnangagwa this Friday. Mthokozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Bulawayo-based Women Premier League outfit Mpopoma Sports Academy feel honoured after being selected to feature in the Children's Party's football match, which is to be played on the eve of the country's independence celebrations. The match, also featuring her rental queens, will be played at Mahetse Primary School in Mapisa, Matabeleland South Province during the Children's Party on Friday.
History will be made at this year's Uhuru celebrations after the inclusion of women football teams. Mpopoma Sports Academy will face Women Premier League defending champions Rentals Queens in a dress rehearsal of the big final featuring Premier Soccer League giants Highlanders and Scotland set for Saturday. In their second season in the top flight, Mposa say their participation in the Uhuru celebrations speaks volumes of their trajectory of unearthing talent in rural communities.
We are very, very prepared. Since that last game esadlala lapho saba le penalty but sahamba draw.
Sibona ukuthi team yethu ime okunjani njoba sizaqalisa ileague for next week. Sesikwazi noma singadlala lamateam njengabo iRentals sikuyiphi level okwakathe in terms of fitness and in terms of ukuthi sesiprepare okunganani.
For Mposa head coach Ivan Sineta, the match evokes memories having started his coaching journey in Mapisa.
Mposa, I think it's a big marketing strategy to say, okay, this is what we have at Mpopoma, and the girls to be known, the team to be known. So we are very honored to participate in that tournament.
Meanwhile, Bulawayo Giants Highlanders are targeting the Uhuru Cup set to spice up their centenary celebrations. Hard on the heels of Boso's exhibition match as part of the Zimbabwe Football Association's Golden Handshake for the centenary celebrations, Boso are back in the fall, this time featuring in the Uhuru celebrations. With centenary celebrations being the talking point, everyone associated with the Bulawayo Giants is alive to the fact that a win will surely spice up the commemorations.
This one is special for us because it's 100 years. So we would want to also take that trophy.
This season, Boso have reverted to the entertaining flair of football, but their lack of precision upfront has been their Achilles heel. Mthokozi Stube, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
That's it in sport. The weather report is next.
Good evening and welcome. Time for your evening weather update. Well, isolated showers in some parts of the country yesterday. Nyanga receiving 19 millimeters, Matopos and Marondera both with 11 millimeters as at 8 o'clock this morning. And this was a result of the cloudy conditions and the isolated thunder showers over the northern areas. Tomorrow we expect partly cloudy and mild conditions over the northern areas of the country. There's a chance of isolated showers in places, while the southern areas We expect sunny and mild conditions in the morning. By afternoon, partly cloudy and warm conditions should set in. In the satellite images received this afternoon showing cloud over the northern parts of the country. However, as we move further into the weekend, we expect a cloud system from Botswana, and it should be driving in moisture, and we expect some isolated thunder showers in places, particularly over Matabeleland North, Matabeleland South, and the Bulawayo areas. Your minimum temperatures for the main city centers: the capital city, Harare, with 15, Bulawayo with 15 as well, 16 for Masvingo there, Chirezi with 17, 16 for Mutare, Kariba with 20. Maximum temperatures are very hot conditions expected at Kariba with 33, 24 for the capital city. Plenty of sunshine over the Gwanda area with 30, 29 for Bulawayo, 31 for Victoria Falls, 32 for Chirezi. Bulawayo expect some sunny conditions. It should be warm in the afternoon, starting off mild in the morning. The same conditions again expected for Matoposa, partly cloudy and mild at first, becoming warm later. Gwanda, plenty of sunshine expected on Friday. It should be warm in the afternoon. Where we expect again more of sunshine than cloud, particularly on Saturday, it should be mild to warm. Masvingo, plenty of sunshine expected on Friday. It should be warm in the afternoon. Mutare, plenty of sunshine again expected on Friday, starting off mild in the morning, becoming warm in the afternoon. Nyanga, plenty of sunshine again, but our temperatures should play in the cool category. Marondera again, partly cloudy, mild at first, becoming warm later. Harare again, we expect partly cloudy conditions, more of sunshine over the weekend. Kadoma, more of sunshine than cloud. It should be warm in the afternoon. Chinoi again, plenty of sunshine expected. It should be warm in the afternoon. Victoria Falls, it should be warm in the afternoon and the sunny conditions. Lupani, partly cloudy, mild at first, becoming warm later. Bindura, partly cloudy and mild at first, becoming warm later. Lastly, Kariba, plenty of sunshine, that is on Friday. It should be warm to what in the afternoon. Well, that does it in tonight's edition of the Weather Report in Focus. My name is Benjamin Koramba. It is back to the main desk.
On that note, we wrap up the main news. Thank you for watching. I am Monalisa Dube. Have a pleasant evening.